And good afternoon, everybody. Here we are in Edmonton, Alberta. We're not in any place particularly noteworthy in terms of landmarks in Edmonton, but we're here at the desk I've been using during our stay here. We were in Drumheller a couple of days ago, and on our way back we stopped at a little town called Stettler. So we got some gas, got some food, and of course, as is my wont, I picked up the local newspaper. And when my wife and I started in journalism school about years ago, we were given an assignment every week called New News, where they took a social column from a local newspaper, and we had to go through it and edit any of the mistakes, because I guess maybe the editor of that paper was not particularly thorough. It was an example to show us, what spelling mistakes will actually show up in copy that would cross our desks. And that was a good assignment our professor did, because it was very true. We needed it in the real world. But further to my point, in the Stettler Independent, that is well edited, and we found a social column. Now, you would look at newspapers from the bygone era, from like the 50s or 60s, where a local couple gets married. Now would be the front page photo. I saw that in a newspaper in Scotland in the 70s. But with this, sometimes you'd see, Jim and Barb Jones visited Jim's mother, who lives in Oakville, and Jim works at the local General Motors plant. Well, you know what? That still exists. So, for the record here, I wanted to read out from the Thursday, April 11th edition, 2024 edition of the Stettler Independent, the Byemoor Endiang news for this week by Les and Rosemary Stulberg. So here's the latest happenings, and I thought you'd be interested to hear this. Congratulations to members of the Hannah Colts Under-18 Tier 2 hockey team on winning the Alberta provincial title in the playoffs in Olds. Endmoor's Nate Hutton was one of the team members, and Cody Keith was one of the coaches of the championship team. A note of interest, Russ and Linda Kobe's grandson, Doan Stanger, and Stan and Pat Nixon Hansen's grandson, Tanner Hansen, were also on the team. Lincoln Johnson was the spare goalie. Although he didn't play, he did dress for each game. Congratulations to Cash Bookwitz and the fellow players on the Stettler Storm Under-18 Tier 1 hockey team on winning the league banner for their first place finish and advancing to the provincial playoffs. Dale and Dee Green are home from a 7-week winter vacation with their motorhome in the United States. They spent much of their time touring Arizona. Dee has an aunt and uncle they were able to visit while in Arizona. The Greens also visited Palm Springs, California, where they caught up with Gary and Dolores Pearson. Miles and Lynn Jones just returned home from spending their winter in Arizona. Except for a few weeks when they were home at Christmas, they spent from November until April at their property in the Fortuna foothills of Yuma, Arizona. You will forget what winter is, Miles and Lynn. Janet Campbell spent a few weeks in Arizona where she visited with some Stettler friends. Nice to get a break from winter, I'm sure. Angela Yates and her daughter Erica were recently in Cranbrook Beach, British Columbia, where they enjoyed a visit with Angela's mother, Jackie Jensen. The Scapa community now has an online bulletin board on Facebook. Anyone interested in keeping up with upcoming events at the community hall can check out Scapa Hall Bulletin Board on Facebook. The site will also have updates on the Scapa Centennial as the community celebrates its 100th anniversary from August 15th to the 16th in 2025. Sympathy is extended to the family of Dick Brunner, a longtime resident of the Scapa district, who passed away on March 25th in Hannah. He was born in 1926. Dick and his late wife Dorothy farmed south of Scapa for many years and raised their family there before retiring to Hannah. Daughter Shauna and Lowell Johnston operate the home place today. Our thoughts are with the Brunner family and their loss. And keep in mind, the Byemoor Bullarama is coming up on Friday, April 19th at 7 p.m. at the Endmoor Arena in Byemoor. Don't miss the bull bustin' action. It actually says that. And humor of the day, and interestingly, side note here, 2 of these jokes are about cattle, because it's an agricultural area. So that's interesting to see out of the 4 jokes. But laughing stock, that's cattle with a sense of humor. What do you call a cow with a twitch? Beef jerky. The first 5 days after the weekend are always the hardest. And finally, sometimes I wish I was an octopus. Then I could slap 8 people all at once. Interesting joke to end it off on there. But anyway, that's the latest news from that part of rural Alberta for this week. So I hope you enjoyed it. And to let you know that these kind of articles are not from a bygone era. They still exist. Hope you enjoyed.